Straw Hut Media. We're better together with Ann and Heather.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Better Together with Ann and Heather.
But wait, are you ready for us?
He just said he was.
Oh, okay.
Are you ready for us?
I'm ready.
Heather's ready, everybody. Here we are in Better Together again with Ann and Heather. And today I have to say, we have a very special guest in the studio. She's in the corner and her name is Mags. And she's Ryan's fiance, but they're not going to get married just yet because they don't know how to plan a wedding after COVID. So what we're doing is showing
Ryan
off.
doesn't know how to plan the wedding after COVID.
The what?
Ryan has crazy ideas.
Okay, well, good.
Ryan
good.
would like to get married. What in the driveway with 3 people?
That would be something. But then I wouldn't get invited because I'm sure I'm not one of the 3.
Oh, good.
You did pick a place. What is the place? Oh, you did. You said you shared that you were there and it was so beautiful.
Where?
What? Are we getting an announcement now?
Wait, you did it? You got married? Oh.
No, but we
Picked the place.
We have a date.
Fantastic.
Well, can you speak into your microphone, please? Because Mags is our special guest today. Our Better Together listeners are getting an announcement right now. Ryan and Mags, could you please come to the mic?
We're here.
Okay. Now, I just said that they had not planned their wedding because they were engaged during COVID and were waiting. So, Ryan, what happened?
We have chosen a location and a date. It is in the Guadalupe Valley in Mexico, and it's on May 29th.
So very exciting.
You two are going to have to come to Mexico.
Well, Mags, can we hear your voice? Please say hi, that you're not just a ghost in the studio.
We're very excited.
By the way, as a side note, Mags is our singer.
Mags, what do you say? She co-wrote the little jingle with me. Actually, made it a jingle. I would say, Better Together with Ann and Heather. And Mags, can you sing it with me?
Don't make her do it.
Come on, Mags. Yes. Let's do it. Better Together with Ann and Heather. We got the real singer in the house.
People say it gets stuck in their craw all day long.
I just love it. It just makes me nuts. I know she did it for that reason, and it just has that twang. It just has that little thing like
7 cars for kids. It's like that. Sorry.
What is that? What is that, Heather?
Don't make me sing. You know, I always sing by mistake.
What's the last jingle you thought of?
We're digressing. We got it.
Okay, let's get to it. We have such a fun show today because not only are we going to share what we are doing in our lives in the moment, and I just did that because Mags is in the room and that's what she wrote. In the moment. In the moment, and that is all hers. But in the moment, we are going to be talking about so many fun things today, and it is the beginning of a lot of beginnings. What is it, Heather?
Well, first of all, it's back to school, which means
that is the beginning of a new school year.
And it's back to school in a whole new way because we have not had to wake up in 2 years. I don't know. How long has
parents
virtual school been going on?
Not spiritually. We were not talking about spiritually wake up, nor our kids waking up.
We're talking about
Heather and me.
And say, hey, wake up, turn your computer on, and then I would go back to bed.
That's the way I woke
up and drive to school. But I will have you know, I am resourceful. And I called a friend of mine. I'm like, there's no sense in both of us driving to school each day. Like, do you want to take and I'll pick up?
Hey, that is so smart. And that was a yes. Ding, ding, ding.
So I did it. I did 2 mornings.
You're protecting yourself. I like it.
And then Dennis Kim comes and picks them up.
I was wondering how the hell you got up every morning.
And then I pick them up at 2.
Well, it is different for me too, because God knows I am not a morning person. I don't get up unless I get paid, of course. And now Atlas is going into 7th grade in a new school that is very close to downtown as well. It's a school that celebrates artists. It's in a beautiful, it looks a little like Hogwarts. He feels so comfortable there. So today was orientation. We're going to talk about orientation. And you picked him up. So we share custody with a lot of kids. Pick up custody, it's called.
But so we want to talk about back to school, and then we are also going to talk about back to dating.
In the moment.
Back to dating.
I am back to dating, and I have to say, after,
divorce.
it's like a second chance, would you say? For me, it's a second chance after, having a relationship and a beautiful time there.
Well, we've talked a lot about and now I feel really bad talking about this because we've just celebrated their engagement. And now, and now we're going to be like, and once you've got that first marriage out of the way and you've raised those kids.
Failure. No.
There's a lot of people who pick the right people.
And this is the right generation. They are more
person.
Evolved than we are, let us just say.
Plus they're not in their 20s like I was when I got married.
Exactly.
I hope, right?
We know that they are going to have a lifelong relationship of love and happiness.
Yes. But in our case, we did not. But I will say one thing that's important, and I keep meaning to say this to my children actually, that I don't regret, I mean, you might not feel the same way, but I don't regret the choice I made with who I married. Like, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad that I got those 2 kids from it. It was good while it was good.
2 kids from it.
And
I ordered the McDonald's cheeseburger. One had fries, one had onion rings.
No, but it
was good to do.
I actually feel very fortunate to have this second chance, to have this do-over.
Well, you have a different name for it. I love the second chance. I
call it
that.
A mulligan.
And of course, I don't know what that is.
I believe it's a golf term, but we use it in tennis a lot. It's like in tennis, if they hit you the ball and you miss it, this is in a clinic, not in a real match. You know, you get another chance.
It's a safety. Get it.
So like you get a do-over, but you just get 1 mulligan.
Well,
there's not 2 mulligans. There's just 1.
So whatever this next
you've already
chapter
actually used your mulligan. Just FYI.
Oh, what happens then? Then you turn into what, a pumpkin?
You had Coley, and then you had.
I do understand that I have been with 2 different men.
So
yes, thank you.
You've used your mulligan. So maybe I'm going to have a mulligan, and you're going to have a do-over.
Okay, I have a do-over. I get them. I get the next one free because of all the sacrifices I made for them.
Well, but what I wanted to talk about today, we wanted to talk about today, was how that dating after divorce, or dating after you have had a partner that you've raised kids with, it's completely different, and the things that you're looking for in a partner are completely different.
Yes,
and let's talk about some of those things.
Well,
right?
and certainly, and I think it's also important to describe that when it's not just the after divorce, which I think we've seen shows on, the falling into the arms of anybody who's going to come and save you from the hurt and the pain. That is part of the process that you go through for sure. However you want to do it, whether you go jump in bed with 20 people or whether you hole yourself up in a room and cry your eyes out, whatever it is, it gets you through that first stage. And then you start working on yourself and looking at your responsibility and where you are, what it is that you're doing with your life, how you positioned yourself with your partner, what you are looking at as seeing the future for yourself, and how you are going to shape that so that you don't look at the same thing and make the same. The word mistake is a tender word because that sounds like failure, but that you went through an adventure with somebody trying to look for the thing that would be hopeful to you. You've had children, some of us. You've given life together that deserves to be honored and respected and put in its right place so that you can then move forward with yourself to get to the place where I am now, which is what you're talking about, where I feel better in my life than I ever have before. I feel healthier. I have my group of friends. I have the support around me. My children are in our place that are so happy. They are loved. They want me to find somebody that will make me happy. They're celebrating work.
Yeah.
So we're in a very different place.
Yes.
And that's where we want women to get.
I'm a few steps behind you.
Yes.
But I'm close.
But and I think we're helping each other be there. You very much helped me be here. And now I'm in a place where I can feel really joyful about this exploration. I said I feel more joyful since I've been dating. And don't you think so?
Yes. And so we were talking about this earlier that, Anne has embraced the dating apps.
Well, I did it kind of as a dare.
And I can't get near them.
Well, which is funny because you were fine with kind of looking at them from me.
Well, that was fun because
that was fun, right? It wasn't, you weren't taking it personally.
Well, no, I don't want to get into that text banter. Like that's one thing that I learned. I've been separated for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I had to go back into the texting with people. And that's something that we didn't have. Like back in our day, you would leave some horrifying message on somebody's answering machine that you would want to rewind. Remember that scene in Swingers when he leaves that message and
he's drunk out of his mind.
Keep So I had to learn with texting just on the fly. And I was like, oh no, this is dangerous.
Well, funny enough, that's one of the first pieces of advice that you gave to me when we were at the first party that you asked me to come to. And you're like, by the way, I think you probably shouldn't be Facebook, you know, that's
It
when
was
it
back
was
in the
like,
heyday of
it was
Facebook.
Facebook, and you're like, don't write
I
any
think
messages on
I
Facebook
think I saw
after
you
midnight.
like drunk Facebook
Yeah,
or something.
drunk Facebooking, and that's that. I mean, we are dating ourselves. We are aging ourselves.
But look, let's be real. It's a thing,
It's
right?
a thing,
So
man.
when I went on my last date probably in mid 90s. You know,
Well,
I mean,
right.
not now, but when I first separated,
Yeah.
I hadn't ventured out in 20 years.
That's what I feel like. I feel like a babe in the woods. I'm like, I know I'm not a babe in the woods. Don't make
Please.
don't make an age joke.
You are.
I cancel ageism.
She is on these apps like a fiend. She's had like 72 dates in 1 week.
Well, I'm not that much of a whore.
Well, I'm not saying
No.
I'm not saying you're following through with anything, but you're definitely. How many guys are in the text chain now?
Well, you'd have to count. But here's what I
Which to me sounds like a freaking nightmare.
Well, you can't imagine. I'm the one that you were afraid was going to turn into a hermit who, you know, was chewing cud. Like, listen, I can't believe that I'm actually in these conversations. I mean, here's what I want to say that I've learned, which I never heard this point of view about a dating app before. And I can say I have now found a new understanding. I would have been scared out of my mind. People say dating is a nightmare. My God, no way can I do it. This person isn't going to fulfill me. I'm going to make an ass out of myself. When you don't have any of the pressure of having to be something for somebody else, you just have a conversation that's natural and real. And if you don't like the person, you don't like them, and nobody cares.
But is it natural and real when you're just texting
No,
some
but here's
stranger
what
that you don't know?
happens. You very quickly, and I also didn't understand this about a dating app. The reason it shows like interest, like I always thought it was so judgmental. People go on, and I know there are apps that are all about sex and everything else. Raya supposedly isn't that. And by the way, I bet you can interact with anything in the way that
I think
you want
that's
to.
the grinder based on the name.
The what? The grinder is the
Grindr.
one where they go and fuck people. All the
That's
time.
what I think.
Yes.
Or is that the gay one?
Well, I mean, I think there's many
I
of
think
them.
our producer is shaking his head.
That's
It's
the
definitely
gay
the gay
one.
one. That I would sign up for that by mistake.
I have not. Now, listen, you do.
But I love gay
but
men,
I mean,
so I would have the best date ever. If
to me,
yeah.
although they wouldn't. That's not. You're
They
not
would. I'm
exactly.
lots of fun.
You would be
They
fun.
love-
Not probably what they're looking for on Grindr.
I would hook them up with somebody.
Now you're a madam for gay
Which
men
I'm not
on
opposed to.
Tinder.
Actually, why
Which,
would
by
that-
the way,
why
not?
aren't I that?
I don't know why. I think we could be very good madams.
Yeah.
Let's find one for each. Let's find someone for the other that can be as fun as we have. That's the other problem.
Well,
when
I
you're-
am supposed to
when
be
you're-
your madam,
I know.
but you've
you're
taken
my
this.
plus one.
You've taken this. But yeah, by the way, when we got that invite to go to this premiere, I'm like, by the way, we're going to this, and I'm your plus one, not one of your many dudes.
Yeah, as if I would go into public. Although then,
But it's a
apparently
baseball
people
movie. You
are
know that I have
interested in my dating, as I have been in the press lately. But we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is the interesting thing about how this particular app works. It suits you with the people only a couple of days. It's like you're doled out like you're doled pineapple strips. But the thing is, you are matched through, of course, a word that has become so annoying to me, algorithm, and literally paired very quickly. And if you're honest about it, when you're going through the people's profile, and very simply they explain themselves, and you can only do it in a certain amount of words. And the fact of the matter is, if you really take into heart how small this profile is and how specific it is and how much you can learn about a person, it is very interesting how quickly, when you do connect with somebody, you are already on the same page.
By the way,
I find that to be very interesting. And it's not just sex. It's not actually sexual.
I love how you're explaining it all. But
What?
like, by the way,
I'm fascinated by that.
fucking
Have you ever
moron,
thought about
you
that?
were the one who were signed up for men, women, all ages.
Oh, yeah. No, Beanie had
until
to
my
fix it for
daughter
me.
had to
Her
go
daughter,
in there
yes.
and be like, you have no
Beanie's like, what?
geographical
I
restrictions.
did say
you
it
have
was
no
quite
sex
odd. I was
restrictions.
getting female 23-year-old circus performers in Paris. I was like, what is it about me that was attracted? Is this as close as they want a date to be?
So literally, Beanie went
Paris?
in there and picked what your likes and dislikes.
Yes.
And
So there you go. See,
she
another
decided.
reason why Raya works very well. If you know how to work it, then you meet
You
these
don't,
people you're
so you
interested
need
in. So I
somebody
need
who knows how to
Beanie
work it for you.
and apparently have it.
And by the way,
Yes.
let's also not forget.
I'm
that
blushing.
You're Anne H,
Yeah.
right? So
What does that mean?
Well, that means that like they know who you are already.
They
Like-
can't go on and see you. You have to be matched with them through some algorithm, like I said.
Dude, they see your name and your face.
Yeah, who?
The person
Them.
who wants to date you.
Oh.
So they can,
Yeah, I mean,
they know what
you
they're
get to
coming
pick-
to. I mean, they know your history, so they
Raya
know that you're
picks
not
the
like
person you're allowed to
totally
see.
straight and narrow, but they also know that you're not a serial killer.
They do know that. I mean, are serial killers allowed on dating apps?
I'm sure. Why wouldn't they be?
Do I have to be worried about this now?
Well, that's why I didn't like that Bumble, because you were like, why aren't you sending me out on dates? I'm like, I'm not sending you out on a date with this random dude.
Why you picked a truck driver dating app for me to join first rather than Raya is beyond me. I'm not a farmer, nor do I grow weed.
I am interested in that farmersonly.com.
I mean, I know, but only if I'm going to be, I mean, okay, let me do my brand. Let me do love weed, for God's sake. I'll grow the weed.
Hey all, we want to take a quick second and thank our newest sponsor, Starbright NYC. New York City's leading florist for the past 25 years, Starbright has served the community with pride and honor. They offer same-day delivery of the freshest flowers imaginable, serving NYC and now beyond. Starbright is always striving to bring you a custom curated flower presentation that shares your vision and your sentiments flawlessly. They source their flowers locally and from afar to create beautiful pieces for any occasion. Along with their floral arrangements, Starbright offers an extensive line of succulents as well as their exclusive line of NASA-approved plants, which improve air content. Next time you're sending flowers or choosing arrangements for an event, be sure to check in with starbrightnyc.com. starbrightnyc.com, and be sure to use promo code TOGETHER for 10% off your order. Take a look at their daily deals section and be sure to use code TOGETHER at checkout to experience the difference working with New York's premium florist at Starbright NYC.
I want to go back to Bumble.
And by the way,
I'm
why
gonna
don't
eat
you
all my
sign
words
up?
right
They
now.
won't have me on the Raya.
Well, they won't have me on Bumble, obviously. Not
Well, they
anymore
do.
because
You,
I've
you
insulted
still have
all
an
their
account. I
clients.
could pull it up right
I'm
now.
going to be
and
fired
look.
from Bumble. And I haven't even joined because I'm not me, because I'm
Well, I
you on Bumble.
downgraded. I was paying like $7 a week or something. I'm like, I'm not paying for this anymore.
Nobody who
But
does
I have
anything
if-
worthwhile is going to want to go on a date with me. Let's just be
But
honest.
it
That's
is-
why I'm not on Bumble.
It is a party
You got to be an
trick.
artist to
Do you
get
know
me.
how many times I've whipped out Bumble in front of my married friends and I'm like, you're thinking of leaving your husband?
Oh, wow.
Why don't you thumb through this?
That sounds kinky already.
And it
I'm not
terrifies
sure. Next,
them.
she's going to talk about
It
like things
terrifies
that
them.
you
I
put
do
on
it
your
in front of
vagina
their
that taste
husbands to
good.
make them
She's
feel
like, you
better.
want to taste this Bumble? You're sounding more and more sexual as it goes. Do you go to parties that exchange keys? Do you know those parties used to happen?
Yeah, I remember
Did
there
you
was
do
a
one?
movie. I mean, what do you think?
I know
No.
you didn't. I just thought it would be funny to look at your face. It's worth watching YouTube on Monday just to see her face when I asked her if she went to a party where she switched
But it would be all the people you know with your friends. I would never want to be with my
Nobody
friend's
would
husband.
fuck
That'd be
another couple at the
disgusting.
tennis club, and those were your hangs. There's no way you guys would do that. You would be too embarrassed
Well,
the next day. You would all
not
divorce
even,
each
not
other.
even embarrassed. I just don't know how you can be attracted to somebody's, like your friend's husband. Let me think. Yeah, no, I don't. I was trying to think if there was ever, if there was ever, maybe my friends just have
I'm
ugly
the
husbands.
exact opposite. I'm less attracted to my friends' husbands because my friends get less attractive since they've been with them. So I hate. So it's like I just think that they're just that's what happens. Not in the marriage that's going to happen in the room, but in Heather and mine.
Okay,
which take us back to the beginning.
I feel like we're just having a conversation now, and we need to remember that.
I thought you said that's what podcasts are for.
We need to give. Well, remember our podcast. We say you're going to learn something.
Well, I'm not sure this is going to be one of those.
Yes,
one of those
it
ones.
is.
You're going to learn about a date.
Well, the other
that
thing
I had,
was that you could
except
just have
not-
fun. Okay.
Okay.
I of course did some research.
It's just the two of us. I get to be honest at least
Right.
once in a blue
Okay,
moon.
well okay, fine.
Okay.
Let's think about like when I picked my husband that I was going to start my life with.
Are we
have
allowed to say his
children
name or
with.
should we call him Joe?
It's not. I don't know.
So Joe.
Whatever. So
And
my
you?
Brumby, the
Yeah.
father of my
when
children.
did you fall in love with him? I know I want to hear this story. When was the moment that you went, yes, he's it?
Well, interestingly, we were friends for a long time, and I was watching The Sound of Music.
So not soon enough.
As any gay man would. And we used to act out The Sound of Music. I had the blue dress.
Another good sign.
My dog did this whole rendition of High on the Hill as a Lonely Goater. And with this,
I
would scratch him and he would paw to the music. It was a whole thing.
Yep.
Okay. So we were watching The Sound of Music, and it was the church scene when they got married. And I made the joke, because they showed the parishioners or the people at the wedding, and everybody was smiling and really happy. And I made the joke, they're super psyched because they don't have to go to church tomorrow, which is a Catholic joke, super funny, that like if you go to a wedding on a Saturday, that means you don't have to go to mass on Sunday. And Brumpy got the joke.
Oh,
because he was also Catholic.
Killer move. Mm-hmm.
And since I let that Peter Pizzoli get away, another
Drinking
Catholic,
game.
Yeah, we all have to drink.
I'll explain later. Yes, since Peter Pizzoli didn't do anything.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Drink with us.
It was very important to me to find somebody else who is Catholic to raise my kids Catholic with. Now I'm looking for a nice Jewish man. I don't give a shit about the
we're
Catholic.
just going to change the pendulum. We'll just, swing
but
the opposite direction.
But the point is, it doesn't matter to me now the way it mattered to me then.
Okay.
So that was.
Except that you just definitively said something very exactly articulate that was the exact opposite of that with the same decree. So what are you talking about? You just said, now I need a Jewish man, the same as you said, I need a Catholic.
That's a joke.
I just have so many questions about why you say that I'm going to have to put a pin in the conversation.
Because I think that I don't want to be canceled or anything. But I think that
especially by me.
I think that Jewish women have really trained their men, like the moms or something. They trained their men to treat their women nicely and to buy them gifts. And like I was in a marriage that I never got. I got one birthday present, I think, and that was like when we were on the rocks. But like I never got gifts. You know, I got a vacuum.
I know, but I give you gifts, so you got that already.
Yeah, but you
don't need that from somebody else.
But I'm just saying, like I would like to be in a relationship where somebody like gave me a gift.
So what do gifts mean to you?
I just like them.
Why? What does it make you feel?
Makes me feel like they took the time to get me a gift.
And so they were thinking about you during the day.
I'm looking at Ryan and I'm wondering if he's not a gift giver.
Ryan,
do you not give gifts?
I'm
looking
now.
Yeah.
You're a no gift giver?
Yeah.
Wait.
Well, because it's a love language thing.
Mic drop. I want to hear what this story is.
You have to give gifts, Mom.
Right now.
You have to give gifts.
I want to hear from the wife to be.
Whatever.
Don't tell her that.
He gives gifts like an air fryer or, like house gifts.
Yeah, I got a vacuum.
Yeah.
I got a computer once that was
a dustbuster. Gotta go.
Yeah, you got to up your game, Ryan.
I've told him he needs to give me gifts.
And what does he say in response?
Specifically.
And what does he say?
What have you said? You said, I don't know what you want.
Okay, well, actually, this is unique, and we didn't know we were going to have this.
It.
But if I could give
I
could give any advice, if I could go back, I think something that's really important is to state what you need to be happy. Like it's that whole thing that they talk about, the love language. Like you actually might not give a crap about the gift giving.
That's right.
I would say I didn't give a crap, but I did.
Right.
I did.
Right.
And so I think it's really important when you're starting out to say the things that make you feel loved and valued.
Yeah.
Like not to be serious, but
No.
it's true. Like, and for me, gift giving and feeling like I was protected in a way. I know that when we went on our honeymoon and I was a scared flyer because I had a horrible flight not long before that where I thought I was dying. And when it started to get bumpy, like he squealed and got scared. And I was like, wait, no,
bye.
I needed, or he wouldn't lock the doors at night. Please don't come and kill me because, but he wouldn't, well, he's not there.
It wasn't respecting your understanding of needing to feel safe.
Or close windows or like, and so I was like on a trip with some friends and one of the dads, I said, did you lock the back door? And he said, I would never go to bed without checking that all the doors were locked. Right. Like to me, all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, he's hot. Not really.
No, yes,
but like I was like, I had a whole level of her. So it's just important.
So she has been attracted to one of her friends' husbands, just so we are paying attention to the through line.
That's not true.
But it was not meaningful other than he did do something that made her feel safe.
Yes.
Which
and
was
so
sexy.
For me, that was.
But only at that moment.
But my only point is that it is really important to be aware of what that is. And the other thing is, it changes. Like when you have kids, the thing that shows your love is to like take the kids for a few minutes and leave you know. So I think that in the beginning of a relationship, you check in on what it is that makes you feel happy and loved, and you have to state it, and both parties have to state it, and you have to constantly check in with each other because they constantly change.
Well, this is what I like to call the agreement principle, because without agreeing on what we're going for, we have a very difficult time navigating the situation. And the farther we get away from being and seeing each other, the further away we get from being able to see each other. So if we start in the beginning and say, well, my agreement principle starts really simply with, my intent is for you to be as happy as you can possibly be in this life, and I'm in your life to do it. Can we agree on that? And then from there, we can open up our conversation to be able to say, you know, what makes me feel loved? So if my intent is to make you feel loved, what is it that makes you feel loved? Well, I like gifts. Well, why is that? Because it makes me feel good inside. It makes me feel like you're caring about me during the day. Oh, you know what? I never even thought about buying a gift for somebody, but now that you've explained that to me, I want to give that to you, because in our agreement principle, number one, I stated my intent is to love you and be loving in your life and be the executor of that for the rest of it. So now I'm going to switch my conscious thinking to say, you know what? I want to give you gifts because I want you to feel the way that we agreed, because we were open with each other and I saw you, and that's what I want to do. And in exchange, then we can ask the other, what does it feel like to you? Do you know what it feels like sometimes to men? If you just shut the fuck up once in a while, I can read the newspaper without you thinking that I don't like you. Oh my God, I never even thought that. Is it annoying when I come up to you and you're reading the cover of the New York Times? Well, yeah, a little bit. Oh my God. And I took it personally, like you didn't want to fuck me. So if we agree in the beginning that our intent is to make somebody feel good, then we can accept what they're saying, not as something that we've done wrong, but as something we can do for them that's right. And that's the switching of the understanding and the freedom to be able to state what you need. And we get more comfortable with that the more it's received and embraced.
And I think the point is that where we're at, after we've already been with the guy, or in your case, the guys, that...
And girl, why don't we just name, well, I mean, and there was another guy, and you know what?
Shut up.
There was, yeah.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Peter Pizzoli.
Oh my God.
I'm running out of wine. Okay. That we're at a different point now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the things that matter to us are different. And I don't know, I have to do an inventory. I don't know if those things, yeah, they do still matter to me.
Well, and if we have the freedom, but if we have
checked.
You just checked with yourself. Yeah. But that's really cool, because that's also what you start to do when you're mature. By the way, if somebody doesn't like it, who cares? You'll find somebody who does. That's what happens when you get to your second chance. You're like, wait a minute, I already made the mistake of not trusting myself, so I'm going to trust myself this time.
Right.
And you know what I'm going to tell you? I like getting gifts. So if you want to be able to, you
but
might
that's not my gifts isn't my jam.
I understand. It's about the feeling. Everything that's material is about a feeling anyway. So the idea of materialism is stupid, because you can give a woman a Porsche, which I hope to do for you someday.
Oh, I would like that.
But that is, I know, I would like to do that too. Why? Because I know you like gifts.
But
you can be a good friend too.
The point is that it's different now. Right? Yes. So like when we were younger, we talk about where we're at now. It's like when you think about, like, you watch shows like The Bachelor, right? They're on the verge of all this stuff. Like, they're picking, you know, I picked a guy who would be a great dad. And
yes.
And I was right.
Yes.
Brumby's a great dad.
Yes.
Done. You know, I wanted somebody who was the same religion as me, so that we could raise the kids in the same way.
Yes.
Fucking stupid.
Dumb
whatever.
choice. But
no, I'm glad I did it. My kids are fully Catholic. They can get married in the same
believe in something that's
wedding ceremony that Julie Andrews did.
Oh, goody.
Full mass. Full mass.
With a it's 2 Sound of Music references today. I don't know what that means.
Well, it means I'm a gay man.
Yes,
like
it does.
I've been saying from time after time. But that it's just it's different what we're looking for, and it's exciting and fun and new, and it doesn't have to be a sad failure. Like, I honestly don't feel that. I feel like I did that. I did it great.
And you did it so well. You really did. Extraordinary. Your children
and guess
are
what?
extraordinary.
I thought I'd feel old and done and, you know, ready to put an Afghan on and get in a wheelchair. That's what the world
teaches you,
But I don't. I feel as young as I did when I was 17 years old, you know, going to Cabo San Lucas and drinking
And,
20 Coronas and speaking fluent Spanish.
And we're going to.
That's a story.
We're going to again. I want to hear that story. I think at the core center of what you're getting to is that we are at a place where we like ourselves. When we're in the beginning of our lives, we're trying to form who we are, let alone what we can do for ourselves. Having like, oh my God, do for myself. Like, what does that mean? I've got to make money. I've got to have children. I've got to, So we're putting our own puzzle pieces together, or Rubik's cubes, together, and we meet somebody else and we think they're going to fit together in a certain way, and then if they don't, it's awkward and all of that. A Rubik's cube is a really good kind of example of what it would look like to try to get through the first part of your life, through relationships and children and education and in pandemics, and it's just difficult.
Yeah.
And to get to a place where you feel like the cube, I guess that's where I think we both feel like we are. Like the cubes are kind of like, I kind of like my Rubik's cube. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to be who I am. The out loudness that I have, I embrace. I'm supported for it. We're loved. We're very loved by our children, our chosen family, as we say, and Beanie and Henry and Homer and Atlas, and we are very grounded in that. And our relationship with Straw Hut, to be able to go out and feel like you are in a place that feels good, like it's not only good. I love bragging about us. Yeah. I'm like, wah! We didn't know what we were doing 3.5 years ago.
Wait, do you want to talk quickly about?
So it's a different way to approach
Where
dating.
all have you been this week?
I don't like to go far from where I live.
Okay. Oh, speaking of which.
Except when I'm driving my son to a tennis tournament, which I'm doing tomorrow. Alice's first USTA tennis tournament.
Okay, wait. I got to tell you, there's something that I have figured out. It's find my kids on my contraption. So they let me. Beanie, it was bizarre. They both said it was okay.
Okay, so, well, that's good because you're getting Atlas to approve tonight.
I can find them. So let's see. Where is Beanie right now?
I see what's coming next.
Beanie is, she's on Figueroa. She's down the street.
Oh my God.
She's at a photo shoot.
Oh.
Okay. And
yes,
where is
your daughter?
And my dad somehow started sharing his locations with me. He's also down the street.
Well, I think everybody likes to know when you're around, Heather.
Okay. And
that's
then
really what it is.
Let's see where my little precious
Heather,
is.
for those of you who don't know who are listening,
Little
Heather
Henry's
is
at
really
home.
a source of a party. And little Henry's at home, her precious.
So
which was
speaking
a little bit
of my
too
little precious, he was at a party the other night and he was a little late, right? And so I'm like,
you mean first curfew?
Yes. Yeah. And so I'm like, I can look at this. So I look at it and I can see where he is. He's in this house in Encino. So I copy the address. I put it in Google.
Oh, no.
I look at the house. The house comes up. It's recently sold. It's a $6 million house.
Oh, no. So
I'm scrolling through all the photos. I see like the pool house. I'm like, they must be in the pool house, you know?
Oh, my God.
So I see like the architect and I'm thinking like, I could comment right now and say like, that house is amazing. Like that pool.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Cause he came home and he's like, Mom, I thought the valley was junk, but this house was amazing.
Oh.
And I had to shut up and say like, I know, I saw it.
Well, right. You can't spill the beans in your spy game.
Thank God he doesn't listen to the podcast.
I mean, Lord. Hi, Henry. He's like, yes, Mom, I do, as a matter of fact, because I'm smarter than both of you. And by the way, I know everything you do.
So I did tell him.
You think you tagged me. I listen to your podcast, bitch.
And then meanwhile,
I know more about you than I ever wanted to.
I'm looking at Beanie. Beanie's at another photo shoot. And I'm like, ooh, I don't like that parking. Like, I hope she parked the car safe, and I'm like, again, can't fuck that up because my privileges are going to be revoked. But I do stalk them. So like right now, if I wasn't actually on the podcast, what I would do is
I don't know why you don't date. This is getting
I
dangerous.
would look at the address that Beanie's at right now.
It's too much.
It's on.
I can't.
She's on Figueroa.
She's an adult.
She's on Figueroa.
I've got to put a stop to
no,
this.
she's coming home. She's at 3. She's.
This is not interesting to me.
She's on her way home.
I'm appreciative that it's interesting to you. I understand. What are you telling me? You're going to put a tag on me so when I go out on a date, you can tell where I am in case it's getting too late and I didn't come home, Mommy?
Well, I don't know. I
just
think
what
it
you're
could be safe.
You're going to track me.
Well,
if you think I want you to track me?
If you go
you
back,
already said you were going to pick the guy for me, let alone track me when I'm there. If you don't like what's going on in the satellite view you've got, you're going to walk in as a waitress, spill a drink on him, and send him home. What the fuck?
Whatever. If you go back to that Bumble, though, we definitely have to do that.
Oh my God. Oh,
and by the way, when we started this whole
Bumble versus Raya thing, it's all absolutely ridiculous. Well, I'm on a mission to meet every single dude that is interesting. Everybody else can meet everybody they think is interesting. That's what I find interesting about it. That it doesn't matter.
I just want to meet somebody normally.
Great. Let's have a race. Peter Pizzoli.
Peter,
Down the hatch.
I don't want Peter Pizzoli. Now we got to drink. You got to explain the Peter Pizzoli drinking game.
Okay, so I don't know. We did it before. Didn't we do this before?
We've been doing this for months.
There's microphone is drinking. Every time she says Peter Pizzoli, because it was the love of her life who went to
It was
prison.
not the love of my life. No, that's a different guy.
I know. I say it all the time, and you fall for it every time.
Damn it.
I
No, it was the boy in 8th grade who dumped me via Mark Vasey on a payphone, just for the record. And apparently I talk about him from time to time.
What are we talking about? I need to get you a date. Oh my God. You know how they say that those photos on sometimes on your profile, they could be different. Well, that happened in the date that I was my first LA date because I showed Heather and I thought I was being very open. I don't know. I think it's that
She
somebody
showed me a
asked me
picture
on
and
a
it was a
date.
guy who looked perfectly handsome. And I said, that's not going to translate well in person. Because you just know, like, yeah, he put all his shimmy and spit and gum to hold up shit. And
She was right.
And I was right.
She was right. The thing is, I found it so I more want to study my life. I'm more like a zoo animal. I'm an anthropologist. I just want to look at these people and dissect them.
Those are
and
two different things.
I know. I'm an animal. I was looking for
I'm the
other
anthropologist.
side.
You're the zoo animal.
Well, okay. I always have felt a little bit like a fish in a fishbowl. Imagine being me on an airplane when I'm like trapped. That's what it feels like, being a fish in a fishbowl. That's kind of like my life is. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So anyway, this dating thing, now I realize I have to be careful because just studying people is probably not going to keep me very interested. You know what I mean? Like I did go on a date. Yes, we went to a stadium. There was a little bit of a hot dog, grimy kind of going through the stand. It wasn't very romantic.
Hot
is what
dog
I'd say.
grimy.
It's a stadium. But here's what I want
love
to
it.
say.
I couldn't be more at home at a stadium.
I know. You like hot dogs and beans. But here's the deal. I'm a little like, you gotta woo me. Here's what I've
You're
learned.
fussier, by the way.
No, woo me, bitch.
Wait.
I like, hi, hello. I don't even care. Be creative. I'm a creative person. The thing is, you go through this very quickly. Then I get more specific about if I'm going to actually go and meet somebody. And it happens like that because I've only been on the site, 2 weeks? And I already have 400 followers. That's not even Raya.
I feel like you can say so many things without taking a breath.
I can.
Is that an acting thing that you do those tricks where
No, it's Anne, because otherwise I won't get out what I need to say.
Anyway,
Hello?
you're more
drunk than you are? What? I was trying to hide that I was drinking and then I missed my mouth.
Well, for those not watching, Anne went to drink her soda.
No, but I didn't.
And she completely missed her mouth.
I wanted to hide that I was drinking it and then forgot that it didn't have a straw.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
All right, sure.
So
don't go on dates with guys that you don't, think are cute.
What?
That was a good wrap up.
No, the wrap up is you're going that app route where you're going to find your guy in the phone.
You're just slow, honey. I'm doing whatever route I'm having a good time. Isn't that what we started talking about? Dating when you're me.
I know,
doesn't
but I'm
even
afraid
have to,
that I'm afraid that
I haven't even kissed anybody. I'm waiting for that.
Sorry, I got something in my throat.
Yeah, what is it, Heather? Want me to start talking about the dates I know you've had?
Sure.
We can go down that route.
No, we don't talk about me.
Oh,
we only talk about you. I mean, you kissed one.
Oh, okay.
Is that fair?
I
to
don't
say?
know. I don't know if you're here to be my fact checker.
Well, okay. Let's just say you must have kissed one.
If we're going to tell the facts, then I should tell who it is.
Maybe. No, okay.
Everybody who wants to join a dating app, join it. But be specific about who you want and who you are, because it gets interesting to have conversations. It doesn't have to be about love or sex or anything else. Just meet interesting people. We don't have to be closeted in our houses, not meeting people or enjoying having conversations. So have a blast. Go date if you're single.
So I think the point of this is that we were worried about you alone on a porch chewing tobacco, and it's really me we should be worried about.
I think so, folks. Until next time, live in love and kindness.
And don't be a dick.
And a big thanks to our Better Together team, Ryan Tillotson, Sebastian Alcala, Daniel Ferreira, and of course, Ann and Heather. If you haven't already, please subscribe on whatever device or platform you're listening to this on. And as always, see you next week.
We're better together with Ann and Heather.